Why, hello everybody, it's Joycelina and we are back here on the Just Vanilla server. And last time I went into the Nether, did some stuff, went into Spawn, took a look around there. And then off camera, I went and found myself a mesa, actually thanks to the help of Tyson Burns on the server. And he located one that is kind of a public mesa, so we went and did some digging. I did that off camera, and so today I'm going to work on my towers here and get them decorated up. So we just put them in place, but now we need to add a little bit of detail. Well, actually, a lot of detail. So that is what I'm going to work on right away, and I will bring you back once we have something worth looking at. So the first part of the work was to clear out all of the hill that was where the tower was and try to figure out kind of how we want to shape this. Especially, I want to know how I can integrate this area, which might be some type of entrance, into also being able to come over here and have this opening over here. So I will probably make this bigger, and although I'll maintain kind of that flow through, it will probably be a much larger entrance, but still look like a cavern. And so we might do some detailed work around that. So it might be a very decorative cavern type cave moving into this area. I just really love this look, and as the sun is setting, it gets really pretty out here. You can just imagine having a balcony of some type that's open to the public and a small little garden area around here, maybe a couple of different layers of the garden area overlooking this beautiful taiga out here that hopefully will stay pretty much like this. I don't know that we'll expand much into the outer area of this area. The plans are, unless maybe over here we might do a little some type of housing area, but for the most part, just leaving it pristine in the areas outside of our little mountain area. So what I've done here, I still need to do to this other side. Fortunately, it's not as tall, and again, might maintain some type of opening over here, or I might enclose it, but it might be glass so that you can look out and see beyond. With this being a little bit lower, it may end up being a bridge of some type. I don't know, because I have a bigger area over in this area, and we haven't gone over there much. I need to go down here anyway so I can get to bed. Ow! So I think this is going to be more of a pathway area. Whoops. Oh, isn't it here? Where is it? Where is it located? Oh, it's this one. It's here. See, I don't even know where it's at. Over here might be the grand entranceway into our area, and I might tunnel through or have some type of bridge or tunnel leading into this area that will then extend out to the rest of the world. You know, kind of a bridge to nowhere. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I might do that here and then just leave that as some small balcony area. So I'm beginning to work on that. Need to do some more digging. Need to sleep before phantoms come and get me, because that's no fun. And with that, I will see you in a bit. I'm sleeping. So as I started working on the larger tower, I wanted to see how we were going to connect, and as I started placing out or taking out blocks, whoops, might want to put a torch there. I noticed that it led into this area, which leads to this balcony and goes into this house. So one of the things I'm going to need to figure out is what I want these tunnels to look like, and then how I can integrate that into this look. So this area may come up here, and then I may have these stairs come off in different directions, maybe even going under the fountain. So I might lift the fountain up a little bit and have you walk under to get into this tower. So I might bring this down to about here so that you're entering this tower maybe at this level, going under the waterfall and then into this tunnel. So I'm gonna have to do some reconfiguring to try to make that work, but I think the first thing I want to work on is this tunnel, how big I want it, because I think this is still a little too tight. So I'm going to increase the size of this tunnel some, not too big, because we still want things to be to look normal for a 2 meter high player to come through. So, you know, a lot of times in larger builds, you get these larger builds that end up being way out of scale to the character. And so how I want this to look is I want this to look gigantic, and I want it to look huge and massive to a player, but that is something that is on the interior a normal size for a player, so that it really does give it the expanse that it deserves. Whereas if you build it really large, but you're building it for a perspective of a larger player, then it doesn't have that same grandeur. So I'm looking to do that in this next step. And then, so once I get some of this tunnel kind of figured out and decorated, I will bring you back and show you what I've done. So I started working on the flooring and on the wall on this side a little bit. And so as I was trying to figure out how are things going to slope up, you'll see I took out a lot of this wall. And in fact, I took down, like I talked about before, I took down about 2, maybe 3 layers through here. I guess it was probably about 2 layers through here. And so when we come up, we're not going to have to go off to the side and then come up farther. We'll be able to come through here. And I will probably have a slope right about here, a slope to go up. And that will lead into the building. If I could jump, good grief. This also gives me the ability to go ahead and craft this. I haven't worked on it yet, but that slope will begin right about here. And it might slope up farther. It might come around this way. I'm not quite sure. And then this is where approximately our first floor of the tower will be. So it probably will have some type of opening with railing so you can see into the first floor, but then we'll have a second layer up a little bit higher, and that will be completely roofed off. So that's looking to be the look of it. And then a slope down to this area. This leads right to this balcony, and this leads into this apartment. So those are the things I'm kind of working on. Now, when I made this change, the nether portal was right about here. Or right here. And so there just wasn't enough room to have, with it now being up, to try to put steps in to get up to it. I ended up having to push it back about 2 squares, about 2 blocks that way. So that's going to give me some room to put in some stairs, which I have on me. And I'm trying to make this, at least this area, a little bit more pristine so that it looks like it's been taken care of. I might change these and put some, some wooden blocks or wooden stairs in, maybe some spruce stairs along with the brick stairs. Words. I cannot get words into my head and out of my mouth. That's been a problem like in the past, who knows how long. It's been a problem for a while. Y'all know that. So anyway, it looks like I'm a little bit short. So now we'll be able to get up to the nether portal through here. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this opening, how I'm going to make it look supported, and just how high it's going to be. It's probably going to be up pretty high, just as some kind of vault and arch to lead into here. And that I probably need to plan out. So it's like I keep doing things. I need to plan that out so I know where to put the floors, and like the first true floor, and then how to do this other stuff. So it's really kind of trying to do layer by layer. What does this layer look like? How does it lead into the next layer? And then, so it's kind of distracting me. Haven't even started on doing the walls of the towers. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be till I get to that part. But so I think the next thing I'm going to work on is trying to figure out this archway and what it's going to look like. You see, I put a beam in here. Might need to take that piece out right there, but trying to make it look like we're needing to support this tower wall because it's come through the mountain, but there's a hole in the mountain. You know, there's this tunnel and it doesn't go all the way through. So to really solidify that support, I'm trying to put in a beam here. I might do that in another area as well. And so I think that's the same type of technique I might use somewhere along here to really kind of give it the feeling that we're supporting these long walls, these large, heavy walls, as there's these grand openings. So I'll try to figure something out and then I'll bring you back once I get all of that done. So I have finished up decorating this area, putting in the all the detail that I wanted to. Man, this took me forever, let me tell you. Oh, and you have to be careful. It does not go into water, even though you see water from this area. If you jump, you is gonna go splat. Yeah, so this took me a while, just placing blocks sometimes can be really hard. Like, how much of detail do you want to put in? Almost every single block, it's like hemming and hawing. Is this what I want there? No, that's not what I want there. And oh, I don't have enough of these. And oh, I have, that's not the one that's on my bar. And yeah, it took a little bit of time. But I'm pleased with how it ended up. I've not put the barrier around here, but I did put the roof over this area just to kind of get a sense for how big that would be and then what I want to do from this point. I still kind of like the idea of maybe expanding this out kind of like we do and having it go out a little bit larger so you can see, but I don't know, we'll see. I might just keep it the way it is. So the other thing, this is the so the kind of the archway. It's not really an arch, but it's the support section for holding up all of this wall and all of this rock. So we needed to put something in place, and in fact I did something here because if we come down, what's supporting all of this rock? There has to be something. So I've gone ahead and put that in so that there are some supports there. And then if we come over this way, this is how you get into the tower. And so I didn't really decorate this up. Well, I haven't decorated it all. I did put the floors in because what this allows me to do is to know the size of each floor and the location of where I want to put windows, so that the windows are at a reasonable height for the player when they're in here, rather than just putting them in and then they're in awkward positions. Like there probably won't be a window here. This might be an entrance into something else, which I didn't even know. What an idea of maybe coming out here and being able to have a way to meet up with the other tower. So that's something. That's interesting. But what I meant to say is so that you can kind of see, here's where their window's going to be, and then I can do my detail work based on where these windows are. So that's some of the work that I need to do now before I can really start tearing down the walls and putting up something other than cobblestone, because that's pretty ugly. I think it's going to be mostly brick. Again, like I said, there's a lot of this where I want it to be a little bit more pristine and not so worn down. So I want it to be distinctively different than what we have in these in the cave tunnels here, so that when you come in, you realize where you've gone from being in a cave tunnel, and maybe some of these bricks are reinforcements of that area, to where I want it to be. This is the tower, and this is what we've built as part of our community building in this area. So that's what I'm going to work on next. I hope you're not dizzy from all my walking in circles. But yeah, I've got to go through and figure out where can good grief. Well, guess what? Nothing's going there, so there's no windows there. Maybe some sort of lighting in the back. What do you think? I've got some glowstone. Maybe we fill this in. And then we have glowstone coming from here, and then hidden by something, hidden by trapdoors and some type of decoration. That might be interesting. Anyway, so I will go ahead and get that started and be back in a bit. Okay, so I wanted to bring you in and take a look at what we finished up with. Now, one of the things I did, well, it's actually what I've done since the last cut, is I went through and on the inside, I worked on changing all of the cobblestone into brick. What I didn't know at the time, but ended up, I think it actually looks not bad, is that on the inside, I can only see these 3 blocks. I can't see this 4th block because it's covered by the blocks on this wall and the blocks on the adjacent wall. So I couldn't change out these cobblestone, and I kind of like how that looks. It actually adds that detail. You can see where the edges of the building are. So I do like that, and I might maintain that as I continue to work on this side. The second piece that you might notice is that the windows seem kind of, well, cattywampus. I mean, what other word is there? Especially through here. And part of that, and actually there's a doorway here because it's so inset into the mountain that a window wouldn't do. There's actually probably 4 or 5 blocks that you'd have to walk through to be able to access this. It might be 2 on this side. There's another one that's 4. What I might do is include another building at this level. And as I look at it, that may seem really appropriate that on this level, this door comes into a whole new apartment that is built into the ground here. So, but these windows are cattywampus because I have a stairway that is coming up for each level, and it's coming up only on this one side of the tower. So in order to create the best use of space and not have stairways be a problem, I've done it only on this one side. And so what you're finding is that it then limits where I can place windows. The windows up here are much more symmetrical because there's no more staircase. We don't have a staircase going up into some secret part of the ceiling up here underneath the roof. The last thing I tried to do, and well, let's be frank, it did not work out to the best of my ability, was I wanted to create kind of an addition onto the tower at this part right here where my head is. And boy, did that turn out ugly. And disclaimer, you might be able to tell my voice is a little different from this clip than from the last clip. And that's because it's been 24 hours since I last recorded that last clip. And what has happened? I've got either a really severe cold or the flu. And I'm highly medicated. I'm sick. My voice is like going to travel down about 10 octaves from today till tomorrow. And in the midst of all of that, while medicated, I tried to build something. Can I just tell you, don't try that. At home, don't try that. It's crazy. Do not build while medicated. And that's what I'm going to tell you right here. This ended up really bad. What I need to do, and let me turn back around. What I need to do is I need to do it on something that is taller. So maybe right about this structure on this taller, thinner tower, we'll build something out a little bit. It won't be huge, but it will be a little bit out. And in fact, I found a website when trying to figure out how to do this. Of course, I looked at the website after I had done that, and it ended up being a disaster. But I'll link to that in the description below on it's the same group, that plots.org, I think is what it's called. I'll put on here if I'm wrong on that. But plots.org, which is the same organization that you can, or website that you can go to figure out how to do circles properly and how to do towers properly. They actually have one for adding a wizard tower to a tower, and I need to do that on something that is thinner, and I have more space for that tower. So this is a disaster. It will be coming down, I promise. I promise you that junk like this will not be acceptable, but this is what you get when somebody highly medicated tries to do Minecraft. Don't do it. Let me just tell you, don't do it. With that, and I know this is a shorter episode, and I'm sorry about that, but I think that my building here on the Just Vanilla World, because so much of it is about building and getting it done, may end up being slightly shorter than 30 minutes because I don't want to waste your time. I do a lot of building in between these cuts in this video. So I want to make use of your time. This is going to be a little bit shorter, but you'll actually be able to see more of what's going on because you'll watch most of it. So with that, I hope you like this. If you do, please leave it a like. It does actually help me grow my channel. I think today, as of November 15th, 2019, I have 174 viewers, which is big time. We're almost at 200. Hopefully we'll be able to do that by the end of the year. But if you haven't, leave a like and subscribe if you have not subscribed. So we have 174 subscribers looking to grow the channel. Please do that. And I know, I schedule these videos, they're kind of sporadic. So if you hit the notification button, you'll know when I recorded and when I've posted something. So hit that notification bell and you'll know. And with that, okay, I'm going to tell you, bye. I will see you next time.